Hello, I'm Jessica Lustino, and welcome to my discussion. Today, I'm going to discuss the topic of social power. There are 5 types of social power. Social power is the potential for social influence. The available tools that one has to exert influence over another can lead to a change in that person. These are the 5 types of social power: legitimate power, coercive power, reward power, expert power, and referent power. Legitimate power is power you get from your formal position or office that is held in the organization's hierarchy of authority. For example, the superintendent of a school has certain powers because of the office that they hold. Typically, legitimate power is based on perception and reality. What a person feels about the particular position is what they think they have the power for. Same goes for the employees who have a particular vision of what that leader's power or position holds, which may or may not be true. Legitimate power as a source of authority has one distinct advantage over many other sources of authority, which is that it usually is based upon some objective rule or law of the organization. Coercive power is the ability of a leader to force an employee to follow an order by threatening the employee with punishment if the employee does not follow the direction. It's instead of using influence through persuasion to change a behavior, this power uses force to compel. With demotions, pay cuts, layoffs, terminations, those are all coercive power moves. In order to be effective, the manager must be able to follow through on the threat. However, some leaders fail due to the inability to follow through, and that leaves the employee thinking they can get away with it. Reward power is simply the power of a leader willing to provide a type of a reward to an employee to influence them to act or change a behavior. These can be intrinsic or extrinsic motivations. So bonuses, plaques, certificates, all tangible extrinsic rewards. The intangible rewards, or intrinsic, come from positive feedback, recognition, a thank you at a staff meeting. It's an obvious advantage to intangible rewards because they can be just as effective as tangible, but they cost relatively nothing except for communication. Expert power is power based upon an employee's perception that their leader or some other member of an organization has a high level of knowledge or skill set that someone else may not have in the organization. An example of expert power is when the superintendent is working on a key document that needs to be submitted to the state by the end of the day. At the point they've completed the document, their computer crashes, and they can't find the final document. There isn't enough time to redo it, so they call their secretary to help in desperation. The secretary says they know how to fix the issue. They recover the document, send it off to the state, and then the secretary shares the steps to do if that were to happen again. With that example, you see that expert power can actually turn power dynamics upside down because its use is not limited to the formal leaders of an organization. Any member of the organization who has a high level of knowledge may use expert power. Referent power. Did you know that in the past, Michael Jordan was making $60 million a year from Nike just to sell their shoes? Want to know why? 2 words: referent power. He was a likable, successful athlete, and they had him endorse a product. And then their sales went up. Why? Because people identified with him. They wanted to be like him. It comes from the idea that the follower sees the leader as a personal frame of reference. There are 2 parts to referent power: charisma and character. Charisma is a strong referent leader that has lots of social capital. They excel in making others feel comfortable in their presence. They're likable and have good people skills. Character: the leader is trustworthy and worthy of respect of others. People are confident of them. They lead by example, and they have kept their word in the past, so they're trusted to keep their word in the future. And now moving to social power dominance. In my work setting, we have 3 positions which in the hierarchy are looked at as the official leadership team in the district: the executive director, the director of student services, and the dean of students and faculty. The executive director leads from a position of alphadog. He encompasses legitimate, coercive, reward, and expert powers. Most of his social power, however, comes from referent power. He is a very charismatic person who is able to make others feel comfortable in his presence and has excellent communication skills. He can engross and capture the attention of an entire auditorium of people with a simple sentence. The director of student services is myself. It is somewhat challenging to reflect on my social power dominance. In looking back at what I have accomplished in leading staff in the past 15 years, I would say that I have the social powers polished with the need to continue to work on my referent power. I am not one who likes to stand up in a crowd and speak. I do feel my referent power works well for me within a small group setting. An example of this is I tend to have the ability to use my skills to move things forward with my team of 20, whereas when I'm with the full staff, I don't feel I have the relationship and trust built that they have the perception of my position that I can lead them to what they need to do. Therefore, my social power is less in the large group versus the smaller. We may have staff who also hold social power as well. As I reflect, these people are in a variety of positions and are sought after for their knowledge, respect, and reward social powers. These are the people that others go to for praise and feedback, to help them with a task where they don't have the knowledge background, and some of these other people possess that. An example of this is changing our math program. It was an idea put forth by our dean, and in order for it to truly move forward, there were 3 teachers who used their relationships with the other teachers to gain acceptance of this new program. They got buy-in to move forward with the new curriculum. Had those teachers not stepped forward with their referent power, it would have been a long upward battle where the dean may have had to use coercive power to get the change to the curriculum program. And now moving forward to talk about the alphadog concept. The alphadog in an organization is going to have the first 3 sources of power: legitimate, coercive, and reward. They are also going to have expert power. At times, they may also have the potential for referent power, dependent on their charisma and character. They typically are sought out by many, and that can leave them little room for their own time to reflect and grow. While you may think you have no worries with an alphadog, you must always be cautious, as they decide to challenge or become negative over something that you're attempting to change, such as the math curriculum example. They may turn the staff into naysayers and bring their group of followers down the negative path with them. In the end, alphadogs are consistent in their leadership, so it would be challenging to find true deep reasoning why their mentality is not correct, as typically a true alphadog owns so much credibility. It just has to be observed so you know if they are on your side or if they are working against the greater good. Now we're going to tie it together. Please click on the link and watch the following video. If the video does not open automatically, pause this movie, cut and paste the link into a new browser, and when the video is over, please return to this video. The video that you watch demonstrates in real time what happens when a leader has an idea and how the alphadog moves that idea forward. As you are watching, pay careful attention to how little the leader had to do in order for the idea to become fully embraced by the masses. The message behind that video resonates with me in that you may have a leader who starts off the idea or notion, but it is that alphadog who stands up, becomes a follower, and then sparks a movement with the others. If we do not have the alphadog and the social powers they possess, that first dancer, who was the leader, would have continued to be dancing alone. The ability to gain buy-in and social power growth comes from those with undesignated leadership. This is how systems change occurs, knowing and nurturing your alphadogs within the organization, along with strong communication and relationship building. The following are resources used in this video. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my discussion of social power. Have a great day.